Hey guys, so today I am going to start learning how to draw on a tablet instead of just doing it analog style. I'm not that old, but my fallback is always to go to using paper and pencil when I'm doing quick sketches of ideas I have. And I've been thinking, well, we've owned Procreate for years. I've never once tried it, and I've seen my daughter lately. She's using Procreate to make some really neat images, and she's just so proficient at it. So I thought, well, I'd give it a go. And well, you can see so far I'm not doing too bad in what I'm doing here. This is an idea I came up with yesterday for a small corner shelf. Yeah, it was alright. I had to stop it a few times and figure out where I was with drawing everything, but it worked out. It didn't go too bad, but yeah, I had to stop a few times and go and see my daughter and ask her, how do I do this? How do I do that? Because I'm just so used to working with vector programs digitally. I was expecting too much from Procreate, trying to do stuff that I'd do in a vector app, but you just can't do in a sketching app. And my brain just wasn't connecting with that. So I did have to check in with my daughter a few times and actually get her help. So it was around here where my mix of hand drawing and using vector apps all the time, was just not enough information for my brain to think, well, I need to make a copy of those 3 lines I just drew so I can duplicate them and put in my center shelf and then my top piece. And I was getting absolutely frustrated with this. I haven't watched any tutorials for using Procreate for beginners. I've looked at a book that sends me through how to make certain things, but I never once looked at something that would help me to understand how I copy something and then move it up. But yeah. So, as you would have seen already, I have stopped and started the recording a few times. Yes, I know I've left them in there, but this is my first video for YouTube, and it's the first video in the series, so it will get better. I've left in my mistakes and all that stuff so you guys can see I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing when it comes to using this app, and I am truly on a learning journey using it. But I'm making this video series to show you an old dog can learn new tricks. I didn't grow up with this stuff. I grew up with everything analog, and I've just never jumped into learning the digital side of drawing on a computer. So I'm doing it now because I think it'd be handy. And I'm sick and tired of always looking for a piece of paper to do a sketch on, but I've always got this thing around, but I never jumped to using it to sketch. So that's why I'm doing this. One, to be kinder to the environment. Two, because it's a lot easier to carry around a single device instead of a big massive folder of sketches and having to search through a pile of pictures to find what I'm looking for. It's way easier to view on a device than it is to view on papers. Anyway, around now you can see I am just trying anything to select the lines I drew. Here I was thinking, I've selected them, why can't I just move it, because I've already put it on another layer. And then after talking to my daughter, I realized I haven't zoomed in enough to actually be able to move them. And then it was while I was talking to her, I realized, like, right now it's got a big selection area and it's actually quite easy to move them, except don't use the little dots. It's quite easy to move it if I zoom in, which I didn't do there I was selected and I tried to zoom in and I made it bigger. Not a good idea. Here I've zoomed in, gotten closer and moved it down, and then copied it again and moved it down more. So it's a lot easier when you just think, take a few deep breaths instead of getting all upset and annoyed, and just gradually work through it. Like I said, I am learning all this pretty much completely from scratch. I am used to only working in vector files. If I was doing this in something like SketchUp, it'd be done already. Because, well, it'd be a lot easier for me to create a line, copy it, move it over, create the next line, copy it, move it over, measure the line into place. But this is going to make it a lot easier for me to make a quick sketch, get it sorted, refine it if I want, and then take it over to another piece of software when I want to build it out and be able to see where I need to make my cuts when building stuff. But also, and vice versa, it'll become a lot handier if I can learn this software to do it right and learn how to even color and add texture and stuff, because then I can take my refined vector image, bring it back over and actually produce a colored in representation of what I want to build, so I can see more of how it's actually going to turn out. So as you can see, now I'm in a position where I'm working a lot faster at it, because I've picked up the bits that I need to do. It's going to take a few times of doing this so I can build the muscle memory of the parts that I need to do to be able to move my lines around, so I don't have to completely redraw everything, but it'll work nonetheless, and it'll make life a lot simpler. Now, this part here, this part took me a little bit by surprise, because in Procreate, you can hold down a line once you've drawn it and it becomes completely straight and you can move it. But as you just saw there, I drew a curved line, and when I held my finger down, it became a movable curved line. Obviously not what I was wanting. So again, I just, double tap, or tap with 2 fingers to go back, and I was able to draw it again. But that took me by surprise because I hadn't seen that feature yet. I'm still learning a lot of the features. I only know some of the things I know because I've watched my daughter do a quick drawing on it, and that's what's sparked my interest to learn a bit more, because she's really good with drawing on Procreate. Now, as you can see here, the images is coming together nicely. It's giving me an example of what I envisioned with my sketch that I was wanting to do. But don't worry, this stuff isn't just going to be about sketching out furniture. This just was a subject I had that I could start making a video about. I will do other things. I'm not just going to stick with drawing furniture. I'm thinking the next one I do is probably going to be a Celtic cross, because my daughter has to do that for a drawing thing she needs to do. But the example she's got is done by analog, using paper and pencil obviously, but she's going to want to do it on her iPad with Procreate too. So I'm going to do the same thing. We're using a tutorial from was it Circle Line Art channel. I will obviously explain a bit more about that channel when I'm actually making that video, because I really like that channel, because he's really in depth on his drawing, and I've learnt quite a bit of stuff I didn't even know for drawing illusions and things. It's a really neat channel. So hey guys, if you like what I've done here and you want to follow along, please like and subscribe, and follow me next time.